Close your eyes for a second. Actually, don't, because you're probably watching this in traffic somewhere, but picture this instead. You step off a chaotic city street, past honking taxis and blaring construction, and you pull open a door that doesn't slam, it simply seals, and the world just stops. That's the first thing you notice about the 2027 Range Rover SV Autobiography. Not the horsepower, not the badge, the silence. Forget the tablet-filled interiors of every modern EV trying to convince you that more screens equals more luxury. This is what real luxury actually feels like. You're cocooned in hand-finished walnut, wrapped in a stillness so complete it almost feels illegal. And then you bury the throttle, and that serene sanctuary turns into a relentless, snarling British powerhouse. That contrast, that's the entire personality of this car, and we're about to pull it apart piece by piece. Let's start with that quiet, because it's not an accident, it's engineering. Range Rover didn't just throw extra insulation at the problem. The SV Autobiography uses active noise-canceling headrests, technology that's normally reserved for your headphones, now built directly into your seat. Microphones detect ambient frequencies, and the system fires back opposing sound waves before that noise ever reaches your ear. The result is a cabin so hushed you'll hear your own heartbeat before you hear the road. Step outside and it's chaos. Step inside and close that soft closed door and you feel your shoulders drop. Your breathing slows down. This isn't a car that transports you. It's a car that resets you. Now here's where things get interesting. Because in a world obsessed with digital gimmicks and glossy plastic touchscreens, has anyone stopped to ask what bespoke actually means anymore? Step inside the SV Autobiography and you'll remember. Every panel of walnut veneer is hand-selected and hand-finished, grain-matched like a piece of furniture rather than a factory part. Run your fingers across the controls and you won't find cold, flat glass pretending to be premium. You'll find tactile ceramic switchgear, cool to the touch, weighted, deliberate, satisfying to click. There's a reason your grandfather's watch feels more special than your phone. Physical craftsmanship creates an emotional connection that a touchscreen simply cannot replicate, no matter how many pixels it packs in. And they didn't stop at switches. The stitching throughout the cabin follows bespoke patterns, unique to SV models, each seam placed with intention, not algorithm. Then, just when you think they've covered every angle of indulgence, you discover the cooling champagne refrigerator tucked into the center console. Let that sink in for a second. This is a vehicle that can tow, that can climb, that can wade through water deeper than your kitchen counter, and it still finds room to chill your champagne to the perfect temperature. That's not excess for the sake of excess. That's confidence. That's a brand saying we can do rugged and refined at the same time. And we're not going to apologize for either one. But luxury without capability is just decoration. So let's talk about how this thing actually moves, because this is where the magic really happens. The SV Autobiography rides on predictive air suspension, and I mean predictive in the truest sense. Forward-facing sensors scan the road ahead, reading potholes, expansion joints, and imperfections before your tires ever touch them. The system adjusts each corner of the suspension in real time, essentially erasing the flaw before your body even registers it happened. It doesn't feel like driving over a rough road. It feels like the rough road was never there. People call it a magic carpet ride, and honestly, that description undersells it. Then there's the rear wheel steering. And this is the piece that genuinely surprises people the first time they experience it. We're talking about a full-size flagship SUV, a vehicle that weighs well over 2.5 tons, yet it tucks into tight city corners and parking spots with the agility of a compact sedan. At low speeds, the rear wheels turn opposite the fronts, tightening your turning radius dramatically. At higher speeds, they turn in the same direction, adding stability that keeps this massive body planted and composed. You genuinely have to feel it to believe a vehicle this size can move this gracefully. And notice what's missing here. There's no oversized gesture control screen begging for your attention. No flashy animation trying to distract you from the fact that the engineering underneath might not be that special. Range Rover made a deliberate choice with the SV Autobiography to prioritize genuine mechanical excellence over digital flash. This is a brand betting that ride quality, craftsmanship, and raw capability will always outlast whatever tech trend is dominating headlines this year. And if you've been paying attention to how quickly cutting-edge technology becomes outdated, you already know that's a smart bet. Because here's the thing, screens get old, software becomes obsolete. Today's flagship infotainment system is tomorrow's punchline. But hand-stitched leather, hand-finished walnut, a suspension system engineered to disappear beneath you, that stuff doesn't age. That stuff becomes more valuable with time, not less. The SV Autobiography understands something that a lot of modern luxury vehicles seem to have forgotten. True luxury isn't about how many features you can cram onto a dashboard. It's about how a vehicle makes you feel the moment you close that door and the world goes quiet. So does the 2027 Range Rover SV Autobiography justify that legendary SV badge? When you combine hand-built tradition with a twin-turbo V8 that can turn a whisper-quiet sanctuary into a roaring statement of intent within seconds, you're not just looking at a vehicle, you're looking at a philosophy. While competitors chased the next flashy tech trend hoping it sticks, Range Rover doubled down on what's always worked: obsessive craftsmanship paired with genuine mechanical mastery. That combination doesn't just create a luxury SUV. It creates the ultimate expression of British automotive identity, one that whispers when you want peace and roars when you demand power. That's the SV Autobiography in 2027, and honestly, I don't think anything else on the road right now comes close to matching that duality. If you want to see this beast in motion, stick around, because what happens next is exactly why this car earned its badge.